Shortly after the farm had been sold, Jay was accepted as an agent for the American Express Company, which was dealing with delivery of mail and any goods because it was coming in on the railroad. At that time, there was no method of transporting other than individual people. If they had a wagon and they could meet the train, fine. But other than that, it was taken care of by the express company. Shortly after that, the next year, because this is American Express Company, this is a chain, was back then, they decided that they would call it the American Transfer Company, which was dealing and moving people around that had come in and needed transportation, and also to deliver the goods to the different plants. It was, at that time, there was 6 trains daily, 3 coming each way that was stopping in St. Louis, and 3 of the same 6, 3 each way was stopping in Elma. So through the transfer company, they would meet these trains and deliver the goods from wherever it needed to go at that time, which was quite a bit opportunity to make money. About that time, because they needed a motor for the buggies and so forth, they had to down behind the carriage shop, or next to that, the livery barn, which was to house the horses and mules that they were using to run the different wagons and delivery. That was added in shortly after that. Then it brings us up to the building that we all have seen, which is on the corner right across the street. 1908, the new building was put up, and all the materials and the walls, the blocks that it's made of, was built on site. So this was kind of a new thing, and it was double-walled building, and it still stands. So if we're talking about 1908, that building is 101 years old now, and it's been changed. It's a lot of different things are involved. Next up, we have a son of Jay's. Ivan was born, and he was born right across the street where the bank is now. That was in 1909. 4 or 5 years later, Jay and his mother and Ivan and another brother, Wayne, and a sister, Frida, moved to, I'm not sure which house, but I think it was right across from the city park, which was on Franklin Street. I'm not sure if I'm correct or not. Do you know, can you?
I think it was down about a block.
Down about a block, okay. The next is kind of growing up with Ivan. He had a lot of stories that he were told. He put a lot of them down. Dory and Jack compiled those, and there was a lot of interesting things that Ivan was involved in. He would go down to the railroad depot, and it cost 10 cents to ride the train to Alma, and another 5 cents if you want to go to Vestaburg. So if you can picture, it was pretty efficient if you had a dime or a nickel. So also about that period of time, as a teenager, Ivan was involved in a band, and the band happened to be the Yerington Band, which they marched at different marched at parades and all different things, all kinds of other things. There isn't enough time to discuss some of the little things, the people's names and things that he grew up with, but it's obvious, it's quite interesting. There are a lot more that I have probably missed, but one of the little things that he talked a lot about was bingo. Well, Bingo was a horse that his father, one Christmas morning, told his older brother, Wayne, that his Christmas present was down the barn, down delivery. Well, that was Bingo, and it was a small horse that they had purchased, that his father had purchased from, I think it was a circus horse, if I remember right. It could do a few tricks, and I think it recorded that one of the tricks that it could put his foot up on a chair, but other than that, it didn't do too much, and it was very difficult. It had a mind of its own. Once one of the kids would take it out, either with a buggy or some type of horse-drawn vehicle, the horse often had its mind of its own and found its way home. Here's a picture of Bingo and a friend of Ivan's, and Ivan, and his picture taken in front of the Conery. Also on the horses, if I recall, lived to be 31 years old, which is quite old. And one of the stories, the sad part of the story dealing with Bingo, some kids one time threw sand in its eye and it went blind in one eye. So that's one of the stories that Ivan related. Then we get up to 1930. And Ivan meets Naomi. Well, about that period of time, I got just a little bit ahead of myself because Jay at the time, back in 1924, Charles passed away, and Jay took over the business, the transfer business. This lasted for a little while, but that same summer, he decided that he needed to do a little change, so he ran and became deputy sheriff for 4 years of Gratiot County, and still maintained the business, but was the deputy sheriff. In 1927, he ran for sheriff and was sheriff of Gratiot County for 2 years. And this was about the time that Ivan was in high school. In fact, Ivan graduated from St. Louis in 1928, and at that time, his last year in high school, he commuted from Ithaca, because they was living at the jail for that period of time. His sister Frida drove, and Ivan finished up in St. Louis High School and graduated in 1928. 1933, Ivan and Naomi was married. And because of the new building that had been built in 1908 and had been used for storage and offices, and there's other things in between. One time there was somebody used some of the building for repair for garage. Also in the mid-30s, and there's a picture that we have here, I located and found it the other day of Emmanuel Allen had a gas station on the on the west side of the Conery. It was a gas pump, and it was connected with the Conery. At this time, are there any questions or anything that anybody would like to add to it?
Where was the farm at?
The farm, well, I got ahead of myself, but because the farm is located, as I said, when they first come in, they purchased land on the east side and the northeast side of St. Louis. In 1901, the investors in the sugar company come in and bought that, and that in 1903, the first sugar was, or no, I'm not sure about that. It might have been 1904, but 1903, where the sugar plant used to be right at the end of, that was where the farm was. That piece of property right there.
Across the street on Hubbard?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, some of the land would be connected with maybe where the prison is now, and some of it also where the trust plant is.
When you said the farm sold for $30,000, many acres were you talking about?
I'm not